I lace my hands like I mean it in the mirror at the station stairs.
Hello everyone, this is going to be a little bit of a different video. As you can see from the thumbnail, we are actually being evicted from our flat. We've lived here for 14 years, never missed a month's rent in all that time, and pretty much the last year's been hell for both me and my girlfriend. We've really struggled with all of this because it basically started about a year ago. Well, technically it started around 2024. All this is because of a broken doorbell, believe it or not. Our doorbell had been broken. I'd been asking the landlord to fix it for over a year. Because I'm here all the time, I usually sign for all the other tenants' packages that get delivered, and I wasn't able to do that for a year. What happened in 2024? It must have been in the summer sometime. I don't remember the exact month. We had a problem with our water pressure, and we notified the landlord, and then I think it was about 2 weeks later when other people started contacting him. He actually came round and he knocked on the door, spoke to us. I said, yes, we've still got a problem with the water pressure, and came back in here. I had my gaming headset on, and I've got a fan in here as well. Let me just turn it on. You can listen how loud it is. Pretty loud. And if they came again a little while later and knocked at the door, and I didn't hear them because I had my gaming headset on and I had this fan on, and there's two doors between us as well. So I didn't hear them. I went to the toilet, did a number 2, dropped a log, whatever you want to call it. Went to wash my hands, no water. So I went outside, and landlord and landlady were down where the electric and gas the electric meters are. That's like under a cubbyhole under the stairs. And I says, why didn't you tell me that you was turning the water off? Oh, we knocked at your door. I says, well, I didn't hear you because I had the fan on and my gaming headset. Oh, you wouldn't have heard as if the doorbell had been working and pressed. I said I would have, because it's loud as hell. I said if the doorbell was working, then we wouldn't be having any of these issues. And I must admit, I did swear at the landlady a few times. She swore at me. She told me to get off my effing lazy arse and get a job. what it's got to do with them, I've no idea. They seem to resent the fact that because I've got a lot of health issues, I cannot work. I would love to work. I hate being stuck at home, not being able to work. I've got type 2 diabetes. I suffer with chronic pain every day. I've got high cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression. They're just a few. That's the ones I'm just going to name, right? So I'm on a lot of medication every day. So they'd called the plumber out, and he had to drill through the concrete, and because they heard gushing water, and a pipe under the concrete had broken, so it needed to be fixed. So that was basically the start of it. And then in August 2025, I spoke to the landlord about maintenance issues with our flat. Neither of them, the landlady or landlord, want to spend any money. They've virtually spent nothing maintenance wise in 14 years. 3 of our windows, they're wooden sash windows. The one on the left in the sitting room can't be opened. The one on the right is also broken, and it can be opened, but it has to be propped open with a bit of wood. The sash window in the bedroom is basically rotting and falling apart. We've got a really badly rusted radiator. We've had problems with mould since we've been here, and nothing's been addressed. So I ended up contacting environmental health, And 2 weeks later, their inspection was arranged. This council housing or environmental officer or whatever she was. Oh no, that was it. Sorry, I contacted environmental health. They handed my details to the local council, and the council got in contact with me 24 hours after. It was all done really, really quickly. And yeah, we had an inspection, and landlord and landlady were here. They was given 1 month to fix all the issues with the flat. Otherwise, they would there'd be enforcement action taken against them, and I think it was £591 fee to pay for them. So everything was fixed. The window in the bedroom was basically just patched up. The decorator, did a really good job of it, but the lady from the council said it needed to be replaced, and it's a single glazed window. They've gone on for years that they're going to get proper double glazing in some of the windows, because not all the flats are fully double glazed, and that would have been a perfect opportunity for them to do so, but they didn't. We are in a conservation area, so we can have double glazed UPVC windows out the back, but you can't at the front because it's a private property. It's a rental property. If it's a private property, getting planning permission is easier, but there's no restriction on getting UPVC double glazing at the back, because our bathroom windows UPVC, and I did years ago I did sell double glazing for a while, so I do know a little bit about this. So August, mentioned about these maintenance issues. September, we got an eviction notice, September 2025. I contacted environmental health on the 18th of September, and we got the eviction notice on the 19th of September, the day after, but it was dated on the 18th of September, but I'd already contacted environmental health by then anyway. So it said in the letter that we had until the 22nd of November 2025 to vacate the flat. So we took legal advice. We managed to get some free legal advice, and basically told to stay put, and we applied to be on the council housing list. Funny enough, we got accepted onto the council housing list on the very day that we was meant to be out, on the 22nd of November 2025, and we've been looking for properties to rent since then. There's not a lot about, there's, because of these new eviction rules that came into force. I think it was the 5th, not the 5th of May, it was around the start of May 2025, where they were doing away with section 21 eviction notices. So there's loads of landlords that are turfing out tenants because of this, because it's gonna make it a lot harder for landlords to evict tenants. So on the 5th of May, we actually had to go to court. Me and my girlfriend, landlord and landlady, were there. We didn't have a solicitor or anybody offering legal advice, because we can't afford it. We got free legal advice from someone at the courts, and he went through this and that. He was okay. The barrister for the landlord and landlady, he was excellent. I told him, I said, look, we're really struggling financially, and told him about what had happened with the issues with the flat and everything, and he was amazing. He was really good. He was a right down to earth bloke, and he said that he mentioned about waiving some of his fee, because it was like £1,500 for his fee alone. So we went in to see the judge. Their barrister gave me some paperwork that my landlord and landlady had, which was handy, because there was a date on there that this barrister couldn't remember, and I did. I says, it's the 16th of June. That was the new date that we would have to be out by, 16th of June 2026. But we was looking at basically legal fees, solicitors' fees, court fees, barristers' fees of over £5,300, and we don't have that sort of money. We would have, if we would have had to pay that, we'd have both had to declare ourselves bankrupt, because we can't get that money. Do you know what I mean? Virtually all my relatives are dead. There's only my dad and my auntie left. All my other relatives, they've passed away. So, you know, it's not like I can go to a relative and ask to borrow the money. And if I borrowed the money, how would I pay it back? Because I haven't had a job since 2012. I was working as a kitchen porter in a busy restaurant, and it was a really physical job, and I did that for 5 years. And then partly because of my health issues, I was having problems with my neck then. Well, I was getting problems with my arms and hands. I was getting pins and needles in my hands and numbness down my arms. So I ended up having I've had 2 MRI scans. I've had nerve conduction tests where they put electric shocks through your fingers, which is not very pleasant. I've had a neck x-ray. Nothing was picked up apart from the neck x-ray, and my doctor says that I've got 3 compressed bones in my neck, and they're pressing down on my spinal cord, and that's what's causing the pain. There's nothing that can be done about it. If I was to have my neck operated on, there would be a very slim chance of me surviving. But if there was a 10% chance, I would take it, because I just hate being in pain all the time. It's horrible. And I've spoke to 3 or 4 different doctors and a pain specialist about getting more effective pain medications such as morphine or CBD oil, and nobody listens to me. It's like I'm banging my head against a brick wall, and I just don't know what to do, where to turn to next. If anyone's got any advice out there who's had chronic pain and managed to get better pain relief, please do let me know in the comments, because I'm at my wit's end. I've thought about taking my own life a few times. I've looked into how to do it with basically helium and also a poison. It's a food additive that you add to food to make it to stop it from going mouldy, and it's added in tiny amounts, but it's also a poison. But if you don't take enough of it, you can end up blind. Do you know what I mean? I've done the research. I've lost my train of thought now. I really have. Let me just think for a sec. So we've been looking for somewhere else to live now for a year. A lot of the properties that we've looked at, private ones, they're just so expensive. With this cost of living crisis, rents have just gone through the roof, and basically it's unaffordable for us. You're looking at another £200-300 on top of what we're actually paying now. We was only told a few months ago that we could, by the council housing officer, that we could actually bid on 2-bedroom properties, council properties. We didn't know that. I don't know why they don't tell you that to begin with. We could have been bidding on them, and to actually we was in band D, and so we could only bid on certain properties. And then we spoke to her about how do we get put up a band, because I thought it would go on if you've got a lot of health issues, how in need you are of getting a property, because you're potentially going to be homeless. Basically what you have to do is you have to take an interest in private rentals, and you have to go and look at them and prove that you've basically taken an interest in them to go up the bands, which is madness. And the council properties that are on the website, all there is a picture of the outside. That's it. There's no internal photos. There's not even a floor plan of the dimensions of the property. So the only way you're going to know the size of a property is by actually bidding and winning it. And my girlfriend did bid on a property a few miles away from where we are, and sort of thought about it. My dad's he's getting on a bit now, and he's sort of in his mid to late 80s, and I thought if I'd rather stay here, because my dad's here, my sister's here, Oh yeah, I forgot about my sister. um, yeah, if something happened to him and I needed to, get back here, I couldn't get back easily. So we phoned her up the next day and said, look, we've had to think about it overnight, and it's not going to be suitable for us. And another thing as well, there was a price for the rent. There was a service charge because you couldn't have your own washing machine. There was like a communal washing area because it's like over 55s, and there was an extra service charge as well that wasn't on the actual listing, and that's just wrong. That's just totally misleading. If you've got to pay another like £65 a month on top that you didn't know you had to pay, that's just wrong. I wish I'd said something. I did say to her, is this going to count as a refusal? And she said yes, it does. I thought, bloody hell, 3 refusals and you get kicked off the council housing list. We hadn't even sent her documentation, like bank statements and stuff like that, which we would have had to do. Phoned her up next day. No good for us. It's too far away. It's only a little like village, and there's nothing there. I think there's one shop, and that's it. There's nothing. So we've got 1 refusal. So I told my girlfriend, only bid on properties that are in where we live now, not outside of the town where we live, because I said if something happens to my dad and I need to get, or even my sister, and I need to get to him quick, I can here. I can basically walk. It's not too far, although I'd probably have to do it in stints because I'm not as fit as I was 14 years ago when I moved all the stuff in here. So 6th of September 2026 is the day we have to be out. The bailiff, he was nice as anything. It's not like they're portrayed on these can't pay, we'll take it away shows on TV. Mind you, he probably gets like that if it comes to the date when you haven't moved out and they have to turf you out. But yeah, he was his name was Richard. He had a good natter with him and told him a few things, and he was just wandering off, and then he came back and he gave me his business card. He says, if you need to speak to me about anything, just call me or email me and I'll get back to you, which was really good of him. The weird thing is, on last Friday we actually had full fibre broadband fitted, and it's like 5 times faster upload speed than what I was getting. My upload speed was 1.9 megabits a second. Download 13.5, and it's now 10.5 upload and 50 download, I think, or 50.5, which is pretty amazing. But we're not going to get to see the benefits of it because 6th of September, if we haven't found anywhere, we're basically going to be homeless. Me and my girlfriend, we've never been in this situation in all our lives, so we've not known what to expect, what to do, who to turn to for help. I did contact Shelter a few months ago via email and gave them a load of details, and they emailed me back and said, oh sorry, we can't help you. So that's a charity that's meant to help people that are at risk of being homeless, and they couldn't help me. So felt a lot of good that was. Do have a dedicated housing officer at the local council, although trying to get hold of her is a nightmare. She's out the office at a meeting, she's away on holiday, she's somewhere, she's rarely there to get hold of. But my girlfriend's took screenshots of this possession order, the one that's in the video thumbnail, because she got one and I got one, and she sent that to her, and I'm just stressed, really stressed. The end of April this year, 2026, I had a blood test done for my diabetes, and my stress levels were through the roof. That was all because we had court not long after on the 5th of May 2026. As a result of that, I've been taken off one of my diabetic medications. I was on 3 different medications, and I've basically got to inject myself now, which is a lot of fun because I hate bloody needles. I've been given a sharp spin for the used needles. I've always hated injections all my life because I've been in that hospital with various health problems, and they're always taking blood off you, and I hate it. Now I've got to bloody do it to myself all the time. So that's a whole lot of fun. Just sort of keep you guys notified as to what's been going on for the past year or so. The reason I did a load of music videos, and I was putting them on every 2 days up until like the middle of October, was because we didn't know when we were going to get turfed out. We was told that they wouldn't turf us out until we got somewhere else, and they basically stabbed us in the back. They did say we had to be out by the 16th of June though, but we've been looking privately, we've been looking at council places, and we just can't find anywhere. Private's too expensive. Council, there's hardly any, and if there is any in our town, there's so many people bidding on it, and if people outside our county can bid on them as well. But if you've been a resident here for a long time, which I have, I've been here over 20 years now, then we get priority over those outside of the county. And because we took interest in private rentals, we've been bumped up from band D to band B, so we're a bit more of a priority. Although what happens now, I've no idea. I've had to look into getting a self-storage unit. There's not one in our town, there's one 3 miles away in another town. It's £120 a month for a 10-foot container, and it's £180 a month for a 20-foot. So I inquired about the 20-foot, but unfortunately they don't have any, so we would have to have a 10-foot. And then there's what to do with the furniture, because that's why I wanted a 20-foot. You know, we've got like a kitchen table, we've got a coffee table, we've got units for a TV and chests of drawers and washing machine, fridge, freezer, bed. That's not going to fit in a 10-foot. So I've got to try and find some solution to where I can put that, because I can't pay for 2 10-foot ones. You know, that's £240 a month, when a 20-foot one's 180. So I don't know if, you know, girlfriend knows somebody that can help out storage wise, or maybe my dad, just for the furniture. And then when a 20-foot one becomes available, then put the furniture in there, so it's all together. So on Friday this week, me and my dad are going to actually pop over and have a look at these storage units, because I want to make sure that they are properly secure. They do say that they're secure, and they do have CCTV, but I want to go and check it out for myself. I mean, ask questions such as, has anyone ever tried to break into one of the storage units, and, you know, stuff like that, you know, just to put my mind at rest. And whether that I would be able to get a 20-foot self-storage unit when one becomes available. Probably looking at trying to get it for the next day, Saturday, because my dad would be able to help move a few bits. My girlfriend, she's got a friend at her work that will be able to help out as well. Just do, you know, little bits here and there, because me and my dad aren't, you know, very healthy. My girlfriend's got like arthritis in her hip, so, you know, 3 out of the 4 of us is not very healthy, so it's going to be a bit of a long slog. And then when it comes to moving the actual furniture, my girlfriend's going to ask at her work if she can borrow a van, because she works in the office for a parcel delivery company. So hopefully get that sorted out, and then it'll save us a few quid on having to actually rent a van, because I have no idea how much that would be. I did say to my dad, "Oh, do you want me to look into it?" I think we have to pay £150 deposit on the self-storage unit as well, but we get that back when we empty it. But I said to my girlfriend, we don't know how long we're going to have it for. It could be another 6 months or another year before we actually get somewhere. I don't know what the council would do. I've heard that if you are actually made homeless, that they put you up in a bed and breakfast somewhere. So if for some reason, there's been no videos from me, the reason why, because we're in bed and breakfast, and maybe there's little or no Wi-Fi or something. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing this video, is to keep everybody informed as to what's going on. And if I do, get any more info, I'll write it in the comments, or I'll maybe do another follow-up video, because we do have 4 weeks, but we need to get the ball rolling now and get stuff sorted out sooner rather than later. And then there's the pain of having to change your address as well, which I don't know what would happen if we was in a bed and breakfast. I said to my doctor, I says, what happens if we're made homeless and we don't have an address? He says, oh, just leave your old address. But the problem with that is my diabetes, hypertension and asthma checks are sent through the post, so they would come to this address. So that would be no good, because I wouldn't be here. So I think the only solution I can think of to actually do to get around this is actually to change all my addresses to my dad's address, like a caretaker address, so that if any mail does go there, then he would let me know, he'd phone me or text me or something, do you know what I mean, or bring it round, because it's essential I have these checks done. And I have like this diabetic test done on my eyes. It's where they squirt this stinging solution in your eyes, and then you've got to wait 15 minutes, and then they have you back in, and then they look at the back of your eyes, and they did find a problem with my eyes. They said that there's some freckles on the back of my eyes, and they was worried that it might be cancerous, so they just want to keep an eye on that. So it's important that I do go to all these I've gone blank again. It's this so much going through my head at the minute. Go and have all these tests done at the doctor's, because it was just by chance that I was tested for diabetes, and then they found out that I had type 2. But on the plus side of that, I do get free prescriptions now, because for 14 years, well, about 13 years, I got free prescriptions for a little while after I left my job. I've been paying for my prescriptions with zero income. So what I did was I got a 3-month prepayment certificate, and then at the start of that certificate I got 3 months worth of medication, and then just before it ended I got another 3 months worth of medication. So that way I would only have to buy 2 of them a year, because I think it was about £60 a year, over 100 if you bought the year one. So it saves me about £40. I explained the situation to my old doctor, who's sadly no longer working there. He was brilliant, always had time for you, he was always running late, and he would always apologise. Oh, don't worry about it, doc. You give the time to your patients, you expect him to be running half an hour, 45 minutes late. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind that. It's when doctors get you in and then 10 minutes late you're out the door that I'm not too keen of. Now I do want to give a shout out to Badger Wild Gaming. He started YouTube about the same time as me, but then he kind of stopped, and now he's got a fancy PC that he bought from a relative, and he started doing videos and streaming on his PC, doing space engineers and stuff like that. I want to give him a shout out because it was about April time. I was in his live stream, you know, watching, listening, and I did tell him some of what was going on, and he actually said a prayer for me. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. During the live stream, and although I'm not really religious myself, I really appreciate what he did, because, you know, there's not a lot of people that would do things like that for you. So thank you if you're watching this. Right, I'm actually going to end this video there because I'm starting to get a bit emotional now. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, then why not subscribe? And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye for now.
I lace my hands like I mean it in the mirror at the station stairs. My knees shake first, then my name does, but I nod once like I'm already there. If I step out, will the room hold? If I speak up, will my voice stay whole? I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, with my heart in my throat. I still take the weight. I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, trying to be brave, even while I break. The old fear says, turn around now, take the easy road, keep your mouth shut tight. But I've held this hurt long enough now, and I'm tired of calling fear my life. If I step out, will the room hold? If I speak up, will my voice stay whole? I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, with my heart in my throat. I still take the weight. I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, trying to be brave, even while I break. If my hands tremble, let them tremble. If my voice cracks, let it crack. I will not vanish in the doorway. I will not fold. I will come back. I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, with my heart in my throat. I still take the weight. I'm trying to be brave, trying to be brave, and I'm here